Good morning, dear class 10 students. Dear students, let us continue the first chapter civics. And today, through this video, we will discuss about the parliamentary committee. Let us start with the first point. The speaker is the ex officio chairman of some of the committees of the house. So, speaker is the ex officio means we call the president or the main head chairman of some of the committees which are formed in the Lok Sabha. And as such, we have here Business Advisory Committee and the Rules Committee. So he is the leader or head of these committees, and under his leadership only, these all committees they function, they carry on their own duties and business. Number two, he appoints chairman of all the committees of the houses, and speaker appoints the chairman or the we'd call the president of all the committees. Number three, he issues directions to the chairman in all matters relating to their working and the procedures to be followed. And also, he is the person who issues or would call the gives the guidelines and directions to the chairman related to different types of function and works which every committee of the house have to do it. Now, miscellaneous function we call extra power or extra functions. First one, the speaker presides over the joint session of both the houses of the parliament. So sometimes speaker presides or leads the joint session of both the houses, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha in the parliament. Number two, in consultation with the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, that means the speaker, he nominates personnel for parliamentary delegations to various countries. So the delegations means the we'd call ambassadors. So speaker consults with the chairman of Rajya Sabha, and they select the names to some of the delegates, some of the leaders to become the ambassador of various countries. Number three, he presides over the conference of presiding officers of legislative bodies in India. So he presides over the conferences of legislative body in India. Now let us talk about Rajya Sabha. The upper house or the council of state is known as the Rajya Sabha. So Rajya Sabha is also known as upper house and the council of state. Why it is called the council of states? Because the Rajya Sabha members are elected by the legislative assembly of each states, and they are sent to become the member of the Rajya Sabha. So that's why they are called as a council of states. It represents the federation of states of the Indian Union. Now composition. The maximum strength or the maximum number of Rajya Sabha can be 250 members. So that is the total number of the Rajya Sabha. The members fall into two categories, nominated and elected. So in Rajya Sabha there are two type of uh, categories ministers. Some of them are nominated by the president and some of them are elected nominated members. They are nominated by the president from among persons having special knowledge or practical experience in matters such as literature, science, art, and social service. So, The president elects or nominates some of the well-known personalities of our country who have experience in certain areas such as literatures, science, art, and social service. So these types of, we call the specialized people of the country, they were nominated by the president to become the member of the Rajya Sabha, and the nominated members are 12 in number. So 12 members are elected or nominated by the president who belongs to different field. Now the principles of the nomination is aimed at having distinguished persons in the upper chamber. In the past, many eminent persons have been nominated by the presidents to the Rajya Sabha, like Raja Raman, nuclear scientist; Mrinal Sen, film producer; Hema Malini, actress; Kartar Singh Dugal, writer; and Nirmala Deshpande, social worker. So they were the Rajya Sabha members some years before. Now elected members. 238 members are elected by the state in the union. So 238 members are elected from the different states and they are sent to Rajya Sabha. The allocation of the seats among the state is not equal. So the number in Rajya Sabha is different from different states. So the states, they send not equal number, but there is a differences, as this would be under our school unmacrocritic. Unmacrocritic seats are allocated to the states and the union territories on the basis of their population. So for the Rajya Sabha, seats are allocated according to the population of the states. Thus, Uttar Pradesh is represented in the Rajya Sabha by 31 members, since it is one of the biggest populated state of our country. Punjab sends only 7 members, and Goa, Manipur, Meghalaya, and Mizoram one each. So these states, they send only one member because the population of these states are very less. The union territories send only 4 members: Delhi 3 and Pondicherry 1. Now, election. The representatives of each state in the Rajya Sabha are elected by the elected members of the Legislative Assembly. So, the state Legislative Assembly members only, they choose among them the ministers who would be the member of Rajya Sabha. So, of each state in accordance with the system of proportional representations by means of single transferable vote. The representatives of union territories are chosen in such a manner as Parliament may prescribe. The 3 representatives from Delhi are elected by the members of the Legislative Assembly. The Rajya Sabha at present consists of 245 members, of whom 12 are nominated by the President. Now, term. The Rajya Sabha is permanent house. It cannot be dissolved. Even there is a problem in the country, any big problem has occurred in the country, even this particular Rajya Sabha remains in his own functions. The members are not, we call, removed, or the meeting or session continues of the Rajya Sabha. It cannot be dissolved, it cannot be stopped, cannot be cancelled like the Lok Sabha. Each member of the Rajya Sabha is elected for a period of 6 years. 1/3 of the total members of the House retire after every 2 years. Members can be re-elected if they so desire and if the electorate support them. So that is the system of the election and the time of working. So they work for 6 years, whereas the Lok Sabha members they remain in the position for 5 years. Now qualification for membership, qualification and qualification and disqualifications for membership of the Rajya Sabha are same as those for membership of Lok Sabha, except that of the age criteria. The minimum age for contesting election for the Rajya Sabha is 30 years, whereas for Lok Sabha is 25 years. The qualifications for membership of the Rajya Sabha are given below. So let us see what type of qualifications a particular minister required to become the member of Rajya Sabha. He should be an Indian citizen, that is the first requirement. Number two, he should be at least 30 years of age, and then only he can become the member of Rajya Sabha. He should have his name in the electoral roll in some part of the country. That means his name should be in the voting list, election list. Number four, he should not be an insolvent. Insolvent means he should not be a debt and should have the ability to meet his financial commitment. That means he should not be an insolvent. Insolvent means udhari. That means he might have taken any loan from any company or any bank. Then if he has still not paid completely, then he cannot become the member of Rajya Sabha. But before becoming the member of Rajya Sabha, if he has completed all the debt means udhar and so on, which he has taken from any bank or any company, and then only he is eligible to become the member of Rajya Sabha. So sometimes the ministers who take crores and crores of rupees as a loan and they are not able to pay it back before time, then in that case they cannot be elected for the Rajya Sabha unless they complete paying. Number five, he should not hold any office or profit under the government. So once he is contesting for the member of the Rajya Sabha, whatever job he has, either it is especially the government job, or whatever he has got the post before he is going for the Rajya Sabha election, then he has to leave that previous job, either it's a government post or a government responsibility that he has to leave, and then only he can contest for the Rajya Sabha election. So that is there. Number six, he should not be a proclaimed criminal, and then he should not have any criminal record. Number seven, he should not be of unsound mind, and he should not be physically handicapped, or we'd call dumb, or we'd call blind. Now let us talk about the disqualification of members. If same conditions as for Lok Sabha, so the disqualifications is done as we have seen in the Lok Sabha members disqualifications. Now presiding officers. Number one, the Vice President of India is the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. So Vice President leads the meeting of the Rajya Sabha. He is the chairman. He presides over its meeting. He cannot vote of any issues discussed in the House as he is not its member. So he is not allowed to vote in any issues. However, in case of a tie, he exercises his casting vote. So whenever there is a equal vote from the opposition and the we call the supporting group, opposition as well the supporting group, and the vote comes equal, then in that case uh, ex officio chairman, that means the vice president, he give the voting in favor or in against. Number two, the Rajya Sabha elects a deputy chairman for among its members. In the absence of the chairman, he performs all functions and duties of the chairman. So when chairman is not present in the Rajya Sabha meeting, then deputy chairman takes care of the responsibility of chairman. So dear students, today we will discuss up to this point, and then in the next video we will talk about powers and functions of the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. Thank you for today.